Captain Jack Coleman stood on the bridge of the USS Phoenix. His hands gripped the metal railing as he stared through the massive window. The stars looked different today. Something was coming. "Captain, we have movement," Commander Lisa Morgan said. Her voice was calm, but Jack could hear the tension. Multiple energy signatures appearing near Jupiter. The bridge crew worked at their stations. Fingers moved across screens. Everyone knew this day would come. They had trained for it, but now that it was here, fear hung in the air like smoke. "Put it on the main screen," Jack ordered. The image changed. Space itself seemed to ripple and tear. Then they appeared. Ships, unlike anything humans had ever built. They were crystal structures catching sunlight and throwing rainbow colors across space. Each ship was the size of a small city. There were 12 of them. "My God," someone whispered. "Battle stations," Jack commanded, "but do not fire unless fired upon." Red lights flashed throughout the ship. Crew members ran to their positions. The Phoenix was Earth's newest and best warship, but looking at those alien vessels, Jack felt like a child with a toy gun. "They're heading straight for Earth," Lisa reported. "Current speed, that's impossible. They'll reach orbit in 20 minutes. Jack picked up the comm. "This is Captain Coleman to all Earth Defense Forces. We have contact. Repeat, we have first contact. Alien vessels approaching Earth. Stand by for orders." The alien ships moved like water flowing through space. No engine trails, no visible propulsion. They simply glided forward, getting bigger on the screen with each passing second. "Captain, they're broadcasting," the communications officer called out. "Audio and visual." "Let's hear it," Jack said. The main screen flickered. An alien face appeared. It had smooth gray skin and large black eyes. No nose, a small mouth. It wore elaborate armor that seemed to shift and move like liquid metal. "Humans of Earth," the alien spoke in perfect English. "I am Ambassador Zarthox of the Zynthian Empire. Your planet now belongs to us." Jack stepped forward. "This is Captain Jack Coleman of Earth Defense Forces. We welcome peaceful contact, but Earth belongs to humanity." The alien's mouth curved in what might have been a smile. "Your weapons cannot harm us. Our shields are perfect. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. Advanced civilizations with technology far beyond yours have fallen before us. We don't want war," Jack said. "War?" Zarthox laughed. It was a cold sound. "This is not war. This is harvest. You will serve the Empire, or you will die. You have 1 Earth day to surrender." The screen went black. "They're moving into position around Earth," Lisa said. "Perfect formation. They've done this before." Jack turned to his weapons officer. "Test their shields. 1 missile, low yield." The Phoenix fired. A single missile streaked toward the nearest alien ship. It exploded against an invisible barrier, creating a brief flash of light. "No effect, sir," the weapons officer reported. "The shield didn't even fluctuate." "Try the particle beam," Jack ordered. A blue beam shot from the Phoenix, hitting the same shield. Nothing happened. The alien ship continued its slow, confident approach to Earth. "Captain, we're receiving reports from ground forces," Lisa said. "They're trying everything. Lasers, railguns, even nuclear weapons. Nothing gets through those shields." Jack felt his heart sink. Humanity had always believed that when aliens came, we would find a way to defend ourselves. But these shields were beyond anything they had imagined. "Sir, the aliens are deploying smaller ships," someone called out. "Heading for major cities." On the screen, hundreds of smaller crystal ships emerged from the motherships. They spread across Earth's atmosphere like glittering rain. "God help us," Jack whispered. The Phoenix hung in space, powerless to stop the invasion. Humanity's greatest. Warship was useless against an enemy that treated their best weapons like gentle breezes. As the alien ships took position over Earth's cities, Jack Coleman realized that everything was about to change. The age of human freedom might be ending, but he didn't know that somewhere on Earth, in a place no one would expect, humanity's salvation was about to begin with something as simple as a security guard's handgun. The United Nations building in New York was surrounded by alien ships. Their crystal surfaces reflected the morning sun, casting strange shadows on the streets below. Inside, world leaders sat in silence as Ambassador Zarthox walked to the center of the assembly hall. Kyle. Peterson adjusted his security badge and checked his holstered Glock 17. He had been a UN security guard for 5 years, but nothing had prepared him for this. Aliens. Real aliens. Standing right in front of him. Leaders of Earth. Zarthox began, his voice echoing through the hall. You have seen our power. Now witness why resistance is futile. 2 Xinthian warriors entered, each standing 8 feet tall. Their armor flowed like mercury, and their weapons looked like living crystal. Between them floated a large metallic sphere. This is a standard Xinthian shield generator, Zarthox explained. The same technology that protects our ships and soldiers. The sphere activated. A shimmering dome of energy appeared, covering the warriors and part of the stage. The air itself seemed to bend around it. Please. Zarthox gestured to the military representatives. Test our defenses with your weapons. General Paul Harrison stood up. He had brought Earth's most advanced portable weapons for this demonstration. Fire, he ordered. A soldier fired a laser rifle. The beam hit the shield and disappeared. Next came a plasma weapon, then a miniature railgun. Each attack failed completely. Your energy weapons are primitive, Zarthox said. Now try your projectile. Weapons. The soldier switched to an advanced assault rifle with armor-piercing rounds. The bullets hit the shield and vaporized instantly. Kyle watched from his position near the wall. Something about this felt wrong. The aliens were too confident, too eager to show off. As you see, Zarthox continued, our shields detect and stop any threat. The faster something moves, the stronger our shields become. The more energy it carries, the easier we block it. The alien ambassador walked through the shield as if it wasn't there. We can pass through freely while remaining protected. Your weapons are useless against us. A Xinthian warrior stepped forward, placing a human mannequin inside the shield. Observe what happens to those who resist. The warrior fired his crystal weapon. The mannequin exploded into dust. The message was clear. You have 12 hours to surrender, Zarthox announced. After that, we begin harvesting your population for the Empire. As the aliens prepared to leave, one warrior stopped near Kyle's position. The alien looked down at him, its black eyes reflecting Kyle's image. The warrior laughed and pointed at Kyle's holstered pistol. Primitive slug thrower, the alien said in broken English. Worthless. Kyle felt his face grow hot with anger. He had never been so humiliated. The alien turned away, still laughing. Outside, crowds had gathered. News drones buzzed overhead, broadcasting everything to the world. People were crying, praying, or standing in shocked silence. Kyle walked to his car in a daze. His daughter Emily would be getting out of school soon. What kind of world would she grow up in now? A world where humans were slaves to alien masters? He drove through chaos. People were looting stores. Others were fleeing the city. The radio reported similar scenes across the globe. Humanity was panicking. At his daughter's school, Kyle found Emily waiting with her teacher. The little girl ran to him, her backpack bouncing. Daddy, are the aliens going to hurt us? She asked. Kyle knelt down and hugged her tight. No, sweetie. Daddy won't let them. But even as he said it, he knew it was a lie. What could anyone do against shields that stopped nuclear weapons? That night, Kyle sat in his small apartment, cleaning. His Glock 17, it was a nervous habit from his army days. The gun had saved his life twice in Afghanistan. But against alien shields, it was just dead weight. The TV showed riots in major cities. Religious leaders called it the end times. Scientists admitted they had no solutions. The countdown to surrender ticked away. Kyle looked at Emily sleeping on the couch. He would do anything to protect her, even if it meant fighting an impossible battle with an obsolete weapon. None of them knew that Kyle's worthless pistol would soon change everything. The Chicago spaceport was busy with alien activity. Xinthian patrols walked through the terminals, their shields glowing faintly. Humans moved out of their way, eyes down, avoiding contact. The surrender deadline was only hours away. Officer Maria Rodriguez adjusted her police belt. Her partner, Danny Chen, walked beside her. They had been assigned to keep order, which really meant making sure humans didn't provoke the aliens. "This is wrong," Danny muttered. "We're helping them take over." "What choice do we have?" Maria replied, but she felt the same anger burning in her chest. A commotion near the food court caught their attention. 3 Xinthian warriors had cornered a group of civilians. Among them was a mother holding a crying child. "You will be processed," one alien said, reaching for the child. "Young ones adapt better to servitude." The mother screamed and pulled back. "Please, no. She's only 4. Maria and Danny rushed over. "Is there a problem here?" Maria asked, trying to keep her voice steady. The lead Xinthian turned to her. "These humans resist processing. Step aside, primitive enforcer." "They're just scared," Danny said. "Let them go." The alien laughed. "Fear is appropriate. Now move or be terminated." More people gathered to watch. The mother clutched her daughter tighter. The child's crying grew louder. The alien raised his crystal weapon. Last warning. Everything happened in slow motion. The weapon began to glow. The mother turned to shield her child, and Danny Chen, acting on pure instinct, drew his Glock 17 and fired. The 9mm bullet passed through the alien's shield like it wasn't there. It struck the warrior's armor with a metallic ping. The alien stumbled backward, more surprised than hurt. For a moment, nobody moved. The impossible had happened. A bullet had penetrated the impenetrable shield. The alien touched the dent in his armor, his black eyes wide with shock. "Impossible," he whispered. Danny fired again. This time the bullet hit the alien's weapon, shattering part of the crystal. The other 2 warriors backed away, confusion on their faces. "Run!" Maria shouted to the civilians. The mother grabbed her child and fled with the others. The wounded alien raised his damaged weapon. Maria drew her own pistol and fired 3 quick shots. All 3 bullets passed through the shield. 2 hit armor, but 1 found a gap near the alien's neck. Purple blood sprayed out. The warrior collapsed. His companions dragged him away, retreating in panic. Their confident swagger was gone. "Did that just happen?" Danny asked, staring at his gun. People emerged from hiding. Someone had recorded everything on their phone. Within minutes, the video was spreading across the internet. Maria's radio exploded with chatter. Similar reports came from other locations. Regular bullets were penetrating alien shields, pistols, hunting rifles, even antique revolvers. All worked when energy weapons failed. At military command, General Harrison watched the video for the 10th time. "Get me our physicists," he ordered. "I want to know why this works." Dr. Amanda Wright arrived within the hour. She studied the footage and shield readings. "It's so simple," she said finally. "Their shields are calibrated for high-energy threats. Fast-moving projectiles, energy beams, explosions, but a slow bullet, it's moving too slowly to trigger the shield's defense matrix." "You're telling me their super-advanced shields can't stop regular bullets?" Harrison asked. "Exactly. They never considered that primitive kinetic weapons would be used against them. It's like building a fortress with steel walls but forgetting to lock the door." Across the world, the tide began to turn. Police officers engaged alien patrols with their service weapons. Hunters grabbed their rifles. Military units distributed conventional firearms. The Xinthians retreated in confusion. Their perfect shields, their ultimate defense, had a fatal flaw. They had prepared for plasma cannons and particle beams, not for simple lead projectiles invented. Centuries ago, Ambassador Zarthox appeared on every screen, his composure cracking. "Cease these primitive attacks. You only delay the inevitable." But humanity smelled blood. The invincible aliens could bleed. They could be hurt. They could be beaten. In Chicago, Maria Rodriguez looked at her Glock with new respect. Sometimes the old ways were the best ways. Sometimes the simplest solution was the right one. The war for Earth had just begun, and humanity had found its unlikely weapon. Dr. Amanda Wright stared at the holographic display in her MIT laboratory. The alien shield frequencies danced across. the screen in complex patterns. Her team had been working non-stop since the Chicago incident. "Look at this," she called to her assistant, pointing at a wave pattern. "The shield operates on quantum frequencies. It's designed to detect energy spikes." Her colleague, Dr. Peter Novak, leaned closer. "So when a high-energy weapon approaches, the shield instantly hardens at that point?" "Exactly. But watch what happens with slower projectiles." Amanda ran a simulation. A virtual bullet moved toward the shield at 400 meters per second. The shield didn't react until impact, and by then it was too late. General Harrison entered the lab with his aide. "Dr. Wright, I need answers. Why do bullets work when nothing else does?" Amanda turned to face him. "It's beautifully simple, General. The Xinthian shields are too advanced for their own good." She pulled up a comparison chart. "See these readings? The shield requires a minimum energy threshold to activate its defense matrix. Anything moving slower than 500 meters per second doesn't trigger the response." "You mean they programmed their shields to ignore slow objects?" Harrison asked. "Not exactly. They calibrated their shields for the weapons they expected to face. Advanced civilizations use energy weapons, plasma cannons, railguns, all high-velocity, high-energy attacks." Peter added, "It's like having a security system that only detects Ferrari engines but ignores bicycles. They never imagined anyone would use such primitive weapons." Amanda showed them more data. "There's more. The shield has a recharge delay of 0.3 seconds after each impact. Multiple bullets can penetrate during this window." "Can they recalibrate their shields?" Harrison asked. "Not quickly. The quantum matrices are hardwired into their technology. It would take weeks, maybe months to redesign them." A young scientist burst into the room. "Dr. Wright, we found something else. The shields have frequency gaps every 1.7 seconds like a heartbeat." Amanda's eyes widened. "Show me." The data confirmed it. Every 1.7 seconds, the shield weakened for a fraction of a moment. "If we time our shots right, we can maximize damage," she explained. General Harrison was already on his phone. "Get me the Joint Chiefs. We need to distribute this information immediately." Across the country, military bases received the data. Soldiers trained with conventional firearms instead of energy weapons. Gun manufacturers increased production of ammunition. At a Marine base in California, Sergeant Tom Baker addressed his unit. "Listen up. Forget everything you know about modern warfare. We're going old school. M16s, AK-47s, even Grandpa's hunting rifle will work better than our plasma guns." The Marines looked skeptical until Baker demonstrated. He fired a plasma rifle at a captured shield generator. The energy dispersed harmlessly. Then he picked up a vintage M1911 pistol and fired. The .45 caliber bullet punched straight through. "Holy shit," someone whispered. In Texas, gun store owner Betty Coleman suddenly found herself mobbed by customers. "I'll take everything you've got," a man said. "Bullets, shotguns, pistols, everything." Betty's grandfather's old Winchester rifles, gathering dust for decades, sold within hours. Ammunition flew off the shelves faster than she could stock it. The Xinthians tried to adapt. They attempted to lower their shield thresholds, but this made them vulnerable to their own weapons' backscatter. They tried adding physical armor, but it was too heavy for their anti-gravity systems. On the USS Phoenix, Captain Jack Coleman received the briefing. "You're telling me that all this time the answer was bullets?" "Yes, sir," his science officer replied. "Sometimes the oldest solutions are the best ones." Jack smiled for the first time since the invasion began. "Then let's show these aliens what human ingenuity looks like. Load conventional weapons. All hands prepare for combat." The news spread like wildfire. Social media exploded with videos of aliens retreating from civilians with handguns. Your bullets work became the top trending topic worldwide. Humanity had found its weapon. Not in advanced technology or alien science, but in simple lead and gunpowder. The Xinthians had made a fatal error. They had underestimated human resourcefulness. The hunters had become the hunted. General Paul Harrison stood before a giant digital map of Earth. Red dots marked alien positions. Blue dots showed human forces gathering. The time had come to take back their planet. Operation Iron Rain begins in 30 minutes, he announced, to the command room. All units report ready. The plan was simple but massive. NATO forces had distributed millions of conventional firearms to military units worldwide. Even museum pieces had been pulled from displays and loaded with ammunition. In London, British troops carried Lee Enfield rifles from World War II. In Moscow, Russian soldiers held AK-47s. In Tokyo, Japanese forces had recovered Type 38 rifles from history museums. Private Jake Murphy checked his M16 rifle at a forward base in Nevada. Beside him, his friend Carlos Rivera loaded a shotgun with buckshot. They had trained with plasma weapons for years. Now they were using guns their grandfathers might have carried. Never thought I'd be fighting aliens with bullets, Jake said. Carlos grinned. Sometimes old school is the best school. At exactly noon, the attack began. Across the globe, human forces opened fire on alien positions. The sound of gunfire echoed through cities and countryside. In Paris, French resistance fighters ambushed a Xinthian patrol near the Eiffel Tower. Their hunting rifles cracked in the morning air. Alien warriors fell, their shields useless against the lead projectiles. In Sydney, Australian forces retook the harbour using World War I bolt-action rifles. The aliens retreated in panic, unable to comprehend why their invincible shields had failed. The Xinthians tried to regroup. Ambassador Zarthox screamed orders from his command ship. Activate emergency protocols, maximum shield power. But it didn't matter. The harder they pushed their shields, the more energy they wasted. The bullets kept coming. In New York, Kyle Peterson joined a group of armed civilians. He had become a local hero after the UN incident. Now he led them through the streets, his Glock 17 ready. They encountered a group of Xinthian warriors looting a bank. Kyle raised his pistol. Hey, remember me? The alien who had mocked his primitive slug thrower turned. Recognition flashed in its black eyes. Then fear. Kyle fired 3 shots. Each bullet found its mark. The alien collapsed, purple blood pooling beneath it. Around the world, similar scenes played out. Farmers with shotguns defended their land. Police officers cleared their cities. Hunters picked off alien scouts from a distance. The tide had turned completely. Xinthian forces abandoned their ground positions and retreated to their ships. But even there, they weren't safe. Captain Jack Coleman led the space offensive. The USS Phoenix and other Earth ships had been retrofitted with conventional cannons. They fired massive shells instead of energy weapons. Target their engine pods, Jack ordered. Use armor-piercing rounds. The Phoenix's guns roared. Huge projectiles slammed into the crystal ships. Without shields to stop them, the bullets tore through alien hulls. One by one, the massive Xinthian vessels began to fall. Some crashed into the ocean. Others exploded in brilliant flashes. On the ground, people cheered as they watched the alien ships burn. Children waved flags. Soldiers embraced. The impossible had happened. In the command center, General Harrison received reports from around the world. Berlin is clear. Moscow reports all aliens eliminated. Tokyo has driven them out. Paris is free. Doctor? Amanda Wright watched from the corner, exhausted but smiling. Science had found the answer, but human courage had won the day. The remaining Xinthian forces gathered around their flagship. Ambassador Zarthox made one final broadcast. This is impossible. We are the Xinthian Empire. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. A message came from Earth. You conquered advanced civilizations. You forgot about the power of simple things. As night fell, the streets filled with celebration. People danced and sang. Fireworks lit the sky where alien ships had been hours before. Jake Murphy sat on a tank sharing a beer with his unit. You know what's funny? He said. They had shields that could stop nuclear bombs, but they couldn't stop bullets. Carlos raised his bottle. To humanity, we may be primitive, but we're not helpless. The age of alien dominance had lasted less than 2 days. The age of human victory was just beginning. Lieutenant Jason Miller led his strike team through the debris field in space. Their target was the Zynthian flagship, a massive crystal structure still hovering near Earth's moon. They wore modified spacesuits with magnetic boots and carried assault rifles loaded with armor-piercing rounds. "Remember the briefing," Jason said over the radio. "Their shields can't stop our bullets, but their weapons still work. Stay sharp." The team moved silently through the vacuum, using pieces of destroyed alien ships as cover. Jason's team included 8 specialists, each chosen for their skills with conventional firearms. Corporal Lisa Hernandez checked her ammunition. "Who would have thought my dad's shooting lessons would save Earth?" They reached an airlock on the flagship's hull. Tech specialist Ryan Cooper placed a mechanical breach device on the door. No fancy electronics that the aliens could detect. Just simple mechanical force. The airlock opened with a rush of escaping air. The team moved inside, quickly, their boots clanging on metal floors. The ship's interior looked like frozen crystal, with pulsing lights running through the walls. "2 targets ahead," whispered Sergeant Kim Lee, peeking around a corner. Jason signaled. The team moved as one, their rifles fired in short bursts. The alien guards dropped before they could raise an alarm. Deep in the ship, Ambassador Zarthox paced in the command center. His remaining officers worked frantically at their stations. "We must retreat," one officer said. "The humans have found our weakness." "Never." Zarthox slammed his fist on a console. "Activate the planet killer weapon. If we cannot have Earth, no one will." The strike team reached the central corridor. More aliens appeared, firing their crystal weapons. The humans took cover behind pillars, returning fire with deadly accuracy. "Miller to Phoenix," Jason called. "We're inside. Heavy resistance." "Copy that," came Captain Coleman's voice. "You have 15 minutes before their weapon charges. Stop them." The team pushed forward. Private Tommy Brooks took a hit from an alien weapon but kept fighting. His rifle never stopped firing. They reached the command center doors. Jason could hear aliens shouting inside. He pulled out a simple hand grenade, another primitive weapon the aliens hadn't considered. Fire in the hole. The explosion rocked the corridor. The team rushed through the smoke, rifles ready. Alien officers scattered in panic. Zarthox stood at the main console, his hand over a glowing panel. "You're too late. The weapon will fire in moments." Jason raised his rifle. "Step away from the console." "You inferior creatures," Zarthox screamed. "We are the Zynthian Empire. We are superior." A single shot rang out. Zarthox looked down at the hole in his chest, purple blood spreading across his armor. He collapsed, disbelief frozen on his face. Lisa rushed to the console. "The weapon's still charging." Ryan examined the controls. "It's all quantum locked. I can't hack it." Jason had an idea. He raised his rifle and fired 3 rounds directly into the console's core. Sparks flew. Screens went dark. "Warning, system." "Failure," a mechanical voice announced. "Weapon offline." The team secured the command center. Outside, the remaining Zynthian ships began to power down. Without their leader, the invasion force surrendered. Back on Earth, crowds gathered to watch the alien flagship descend under human control. The impossible had happened. Earth had defeated a technologically superior enemy with bullets and courage. The following days, humanity captured intact alien technology. Scientists studied their shields, their weapons, their ships. But everyone remembered the lesson. Sometimes the simplest solution is the best. Jason Miller received Earth's highest military honor. During the ceremony, a reporter asked him how he felt about saving the planet. "I didn't save Earth," Jason replied. "We all did, with guts, bullets, and the reminder that fancy technology isn't everything." Across the stars, other alien races heard the story. The Zynthian Empire, undefeated for millennia, had fallen to a species they considered primitive. The message was clear: never underestimate humans, and never, ever mock their primitive slug throwers. The captured Zynthian ships sat in Earth shipyards like giant crystal monuments to human victory. Engineers and scientists swarmed over them, studying every system. Among them was Sarah Thompson, one of Earth's top military engineers. Look, at this, Sarah called to her team. She pointed at the shield generator's core. They're trying to recalibrate the system, but it's too complex. The captured Xinthian engineers worked under guard, desperately attempting to fix their shields. Their long fingers moved over holographic controls, but error messages kept appearing. "Why isn't it working?" demanded Colonel Frank Williams, head of the research division. Sarah smiled. "Because they built their technology too smart. The shield's quantum matrix has millions of parameters. Changing one affects all the others. It's like trying to rebuild a house of cards in a hurricane." A Xinthian engineer slammed his fist on the console. "This is impossible. The calculations would take years." "That's what happens when you overcomplicate things," Sarah replied. "Sometimes simple is better." Across the planet, similar scenes played out. The Xinthians couldn't believe their perfect technology had been defeated by primitive weapons. They kept trying to adapt, but their systems were too advanced for quick changes. In a secured facility, Dr. Amanda Wright interviewed captured Xinthian scientists. "Tell me about your shield development," she asked. The alien scientist spoke through a translator. "We spent centuries perfecting the shields. Each generation added more complexity, more power, more precision. And you never tested them against simple projectiles?" The alien looked ashamed. "Why would we? No advanced civilization uses such primitive weapons. We thought we had considered everything." Meanwhile, humanity was learning. They studied the alien technology but kept their conventional weapons ready. Gun manufacturers received government contracts to produce more ammunition. Military training included both high-tech and traditional weapons. At the United Nations, world leaders gathered to discuss the future. The Secretary General addressed the Assembly. "We have learned a valuable lesson. Technology alone does not guarantee victory. Sometimes the old ways are still the best ways." The news spread across the galaxy. Other alien races who had feared the Xinthian Empire suddenly saw humans differently. The primitive species that still used chemical propulsion and metal projectiles had defeated the most advanced military in known space. On a distant world, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. The Altarian representative spoke first. "The humans used bullets, simple metal projectiles, and they won." "Impossible," said the Draconian ambassador. "The Xinthians were undefeatable." "Not anymore," replied the Centaurian delegate. "Perhaps we should reconsider our assessment of humanity." Back on Earth, life slowly returned to normal. Children played in parks where alien ships had landed days before. Businesses reopened, but nothing would ever be the same. Kyle Peterson became a celebrity. He appeared on talk shows, always carrying his Glock 17. "This gun saved Earth," he would say. Never forget that. Military academies around the world updated their curricula. They taught quantum physics alongside ballistics. Cadets learned to hack alien computers and clean rifle barrels. Sarah Thompson led a team developing new weapons that combined human and alien technology. But she always kept a conventional rifle in her office. "Just in case," she would say. The Xinthian prisoners gradually adapted to their new reality. Some even began teaching humans about their technology. They had learned humility the hard way. One evening, Sarah found a Xinthian engineer studying an old revolver. "Such a simple device," the alien said, "yet it defeated our greatest achievement." "That's the thing about humans," Sarah replied. "We don't always do things the smart way. Sometimes we do them the right way." Across the stars, the story spread. The humans, with their primitive weapons and stubborn determination, had changed the galaxy forever. They had proven that advanced technology wasn't everything. Sometimes a simple bullet was enough to change the universe. And every alien race now knew, never underestimate the humans, especially when they're carrying their primitive guns. Ambassador. Karen Mitchell stood in the grand hall of the Xinthian flagship, now renamed Unity Station. Across from her sat the defeated Xinthian leadership, ready to sign the surrender documents. "The terms are simple," Karen said. "Your empire will disband. All conquered worlds will be freed. Your technology will be shared for peaceful purposes. The new Xinthian leader, Commander Vexler, bowed his head. We accept. We have learned our lesson about underestimating others. As Karen signed the treaty, cameras broadcast the moment across Earth and to the stars. Humanity had not only survived but had become liberators for countless worlds. Outside the station, Earth looked peaceful. The scars of the brief invasion were already healing. Cities rebuilt. People returned to their lives. But everything had changed. Kyle Peterson watched the ceremony from his apartment with his daughter Emily. His Glock 17 sat in a display case on the wall, labeled, "The gun that saved Earth." "Daddy, will the aliens come back?" Emily asked. "If they do, we'll be ready," Kyle replied. "But I think they've learned their lesson. At military bases worldwide, soldiers trained with both advanced alien technology and conventional weapons. They had learned never to abandon what worked. Captain Jack Coleman received a promotion to admiral. He now commanded Earth's first interstellar fleet, built with a combination of human and Xinthian technology, but every ship carried conventional weapons alongside plasma cannons. Dr. Amanda Wright established the Earth Defense Research Institute. Her team studied alien technology but also worked to improve traditional weapons. "Never forget what saved us," became their motto. Maria Rodriguez and Danny Chen received medals for their bravery in Chicago. They continued serving as police officers, but now carried special ammunition designed for alien armor. The news spread throughout the galaxy like wildfire. Humans became known as the Bullet Warriors, the species that defeated energy shields with ancient technology. Alien diplomats arrived daily, seeking treaties with Earth. They treated humans with newfound respect. No one mocked human technology anymore. Lieutenant Jason Miller led Earth's first diplomatic mission to freed Xinthian colonies. The liberated beings celebrated humans as heroes. Statues of humans holding rifles appeared on dozens of worlds. Sarah Thompson patented a new weapon that combined bullet technology with alien energy fields, but she still kept her grandfather's hunting rifle in her lab. "Some things don't need improvement," she would say. 1 year after the invasion, Earth hosted the first Galactic Peace Conference. Representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered to establish new laws for interstellar relations. The first law they passed: no species shall be judged inferior based on their technology level. Kyle Peterson gave the keynote speech. He held up his Glock 17 for all to see. This simple weapon taught the galaxy an important lesson. Advance doesn't always mean better. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways. The conference erupted in applause. Humans had earned their place among the stars not through superior technology, but through courage, adaptability, and the wisdom to use what worked. As the sun set on the conference, Admiral Coleman looked up at the stars. Humanity's future stretched out before them, full of possibilities. "What's next?" asked Ambassador Mitchell. "We explore. We learn. We help others," Coleman replied. "But we always remember the lesson we taught the galaxy. In schools across Earth, children learned about the invasion. Teachers explained how bullets defeated shields. How David beat Goliath once again. The Xinthian Empire became humanity's strongest ally. They helped Earth develop space technology while humans taught them about adaptability and humility. Other races studied the human method, using simple solutions for complex problems. Military academies across the galaxy added primitive weapons training to their curricula. And in a quiet moment, as fireworks celebrated the anniversary of victory, Kyle Peterson hugged his daughter tight. "Remember, Emily," he whispered, "it's not about having the fanciest toys. It's about having the courage to use what you have." The stars twinkled above, full of friends instead of threats. Humanity had found its place in the universe, not as conquerors, but as teachers of a simple truth. Sometimes the simplest answer is the best one.